Elden Ring has a lot of different types of fire, but they for sure bring the heat. Whether it's damage over time or fire that gives you blood loss, each flame adds layers of strategy to every battle. Without further ado, let's turn up the heat. We left off in the royal capital, and we have to make it to the Lift of Rold. The trip there was rather boring, as the only things that happened were getting teamed by these enemies and dying because I couldn't double jump. That's a pretty bad way to start this video. We make it to the lift and use it to get to the mountaintops of the giants. If winter was a Souls area, it would be this. I went to open this chest for a Smith & Stone Bell Baron 3 and rode onto this narrow pathway. There is a stone archer at the end of this pathway. I had to use these stones as trenches to not get hit. Well, I did get hit, and I'm glad they take 5 years to fire another arrow. I grabbed the golden seed here and just looked around at the beautiful atmosphere. Another Erdtree avatar. However, there is something special with this one. When it gets to half health, it summons another Erdtree avatar to fight along with it. It's almost like it clones itself. This actually makes the fight easier, as if you have an Ash of War that goes through enemies, then it will damage both bosses and make the fight quicker. I'm pretty sure this is the last Erdtree avatar we will see in this playthrough. I upgraded my Great Axe to plus 18 afterwards. The funny thing is that I don't even use the Great Axe at all in this video. I got caught in a blizzard, but it turned out to be a boss. If I can't see what I'm doing, why should I fight it? I picked up a sacred tear and entered the Evergoal or Everjail to meet Vike. Vike wasn't too bad in this fight. There is one move that could have killed me in this fight. I believe it's called Storm Assault or something along the lines of that. Anyways, Vike likes to use lightning, and with this being an NPC fight, I had to wait for the right times to heal. Vike can also heal in this fight, however, it's only once that he can do it. For a tarnished battle, Vike's lightning makes the fight a lot enjoyable and fun to watch. At the end, Vike put up a good fight, but he was defeated. We get his armor, which is on the cover of Elden Ring. I wish this armor set was better for how late you get it. I got the map for this section, a sacred tear, and fought another NPC. I don't want another repeat from the last video. This NPC uses the Rivers of Blood, one of the most well-known weapons in Elden Ring. That didn't stop me from killing him so easily. I went back to Altus Plateau to fight another NPC for a tear for my flask. It did not take long at all. I attempted the next boss fight, which was Mohg, Lord of Blood. Mohg is the kind of boss that I want to like, but his boss design makes that hard. His first phase is the more enjoyable one out of the two. One thing I do like about Mohg is that his swings look pretty realistic. What I mean is that bosses look like they swing their weapon like they have no weight. However, Mohg actually doesn't do this with his moves. Another good example of a Souls boss that does this is the Penetrator from Demon Souls. You may have noticed the rings on my character, and when you have 3 rings, that's the start of his second phase. His phase 2 is very chaotic, and his attacks now leave fire on the ground. This fire can build up blood loss onto you. The worst part is that this fire is everywhere in the boss arena. This was a very good first attempt, but I knew I wouldn't beat him on the first try. The blood flame that Mohg leaves is why I don't like this fight. Also, when blood loss happens in the arena, either if you give Mohg blood loss or vice versa, Mohg does 20% more damage for 20 seconds. A boss shouldn't have a passive like that. In all fairness, there is a talisman that allows us to do the same thing, but it is weaker. I got so close to defeating him twice in a row, so I know it is doable. Here comes the worst part. Watch what happens in this clip. Not only was he close to finishing his dialogue, but the fight didn't count as a victory. I was frustrated with both Mohg and myself. I probably got greedy when I shouldn't have. Mohg's hitboxes are a bit questionable in phase 2. On the 4th attempt, I wanted to be a little more patient to see what attacks I could counterattack. I did phase 1 hitless, and next was phase 2. I just kept dodging and waiting for attacks I could punish. At the end of the fight, he threw some last blood blood flame, and I finally defeated Mohg. He is definitely one of the hardest bosses for me. If you find yourself enjoying the content, why not consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel? Your support helps me make videos like this, and it helps this video get pushed for others to see. After that boss fight, I headed back into Volcano Manor to fight the Godskin Noble. We did see one in the last video, but it's not the same one. Compared to Mohg, this fight was a breath of fresh air. He has black flame incantations. Black flame spells do damage over time, which compared to blood flame, it was easier to deal with. I tried hiding behind this pillar in phase 2, and it turned into something funny. Even after that funny moment, he died in one hit. Trust me, these enemies can be annoying to fight, but the Rune's Greatsword makes things easier. Let's get back into the heat. What better way to do that? By fighting the Fire Giant. The Fire Giant is one of the most hated boss fights in Elden Ring. He rolls around pretty often, so you have to chase him down. His attacks do a lot of damage, and the amount of health he has, it's quite a lot. It may look like the Fire Giant uses normal fire, but he actually uses Giant's flame incantations. That would make a lot of sense. Near 75% of his health, he gains these new fire spells. One of them is RNG based, while the other two are a fast fireball and a slow fireball that leaves an area of effect after it blows up. Staggering the Fire Giant can be pretty difficult too. He burns his own leg to start phase 2. What degree burns do you think that is? Phase 2 is definitely the harder one out of the two. He rolls almost after every attack, and most of his attacks are fire. The one move you have to use the horse for is this flamethrower attack. I don't think you can dodge this without the horse. It did get close near the end, but the Fire Giant went down. Melina burned the Earth Tree soon after. She then teleports us to doomed Farum Azula. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant crumbling Farum Azula. This area reminds me of Bloodborne in the fact that most enemies are beasts. Honestly, there's not much to say about this area. I went to this side of Grace and stopped there. I know I could have included the Godskin duo as they use fire, but I want to keep this video a little shorter. They will be the first thing you will see in the next video, obviously after the intro. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, we can reach for the stars while keeping our feet on the ground. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you come to join me in the next video. Have a wonderful and safe day, everybody.